Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, life is so beautiful when it is filled with good qualities. Normally, our mind tends to do the bad things and evil things. That is the nature of your mind. But if we practiced our mind to turn all those evil thoughts to good thoughts or wholesome thoughts, then our life will be wonderful. So the more you practice good qualities like compassion, love, kindness, and unselfishness, so all those good qualities makes your life a beautiful and wonderful one. So always we have to focus on the wholesome side of our mind. Yes, we are a mixture of good and bad. There is no single person in this world who is with 100% good qualities. And there is no a single person who is living in this world with 100% bad qualities. We are a mixture of good as well as the bad. So what we have to do to make our lives a better one is to focus on the wholesome side of our mind and practice and develop that part of your mind. The more you develop the wholesome part and the wholesome side of your mind, the less the evil thoughts may appear in the life. So that is based on the practice. Whatever you practice in your mind and in your life, in your day, and that particular thing will be the repetition of the whole life. That means if you practice the evil thoughts again and again and again, what will happen? Always your mind will be in the evil side. But if you practice good qualities again and again, always your mind tends to think, do, and work in the wholesome side of your mind. So that is why it is very important to develop the good qualities, good human qualities in the life. So, one of the basic and the foremost human wholesome quality is compassion. Compassion we called in Pali language karuna. Karuna means our great teacher Supreme Buddha explained this word. Para dukkhe hadayang kampetiti karuna. Feeling the sadness when others are going through a sad time in their life, if you feel sad, then that is what you call the compassion. And it simply means being sad and feeling the sadness when others are feeling sad, and being happy when others are being happy. That is what you call compassion. So if you have a compassionate heart, then you will feel the sadness of others. The more we develop the compassion in our mind, we can understand the situation of other people. Now, normally in this world, it is very rare to a person to understand others' situation. It is very hard to be in others' shoes. So always when we develop the compassion within our mind, then we will have the opportunity to understand the suffering, sadness, the critical situations of others. Then if you develop the compassion, then you will have the opportunity to help them. You will tend to help others. You will tend to sacrifice a part of your life on behalf of others. Life is not living only for yourself. A happy and wonderful life is something that we should live for others also. The most and the greatest compassionate person who ever lived in this world is our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. He sacrificed his whole life to find the reality and the truth of this birth and death. And he tried very hard to escape from this suffering. And he sacrificed his life to escape all these beings from this suffering. So our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, is the best and the foremost model of compassion that we can find in this world. He sacrificed his whole life on behalf of us. So being unselfish and sacrificing our life for others, helping others, being compassionate is a good quality that you can develop in your life. If you be compassionate and if you help others, if you treat others with your kind words, kind actions, and kind intentions, then those broken hearts will be healed. If you use the compassionate words, those words can heal the broken hearts of people. So that is one of the biggest happiness that we can have in our life. That is called the mental pleasure. The pleasure of helping others. The pleasure that we gain by being compassionate. So after we grown old and when we are facing the death and when we are living on our deathbed, we can recall our past and the way we lived, and we can be happy with that. Always remember, it is not matter how long you live. Always it matters how you lived. So, when you are living your life, try to practice these good qualities, good human qualities. Try to be a good human, a compassionate, a kind and lovable human. Then only you will have the opportunity to find the real peace and happiness in your life. So I wish you all, may all of you find the ultimate happiness in your life. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, in life, we cannot expect always that the people that we meet to be nice to us and to be kind to us. Sometimes we will have to deal with toxic people. So when you hear the word toxic, it comes to your mind that is something poisonous. Yes, there are poisonous things in this world. Among them, there are dangerous, poisonous things which are known as the words that are filled with anger. Words are something powerful which can kill us and as well as which can heal us. That is why they say words can break you as well as words can make you. So, sometimes we will have to deal with toxic people, the people who are filled with anger, resentment, and hatred. So you will expect that all the toxic people are in the outer society. No, sometimes toxic people can be found in our family. It may be your husband, it may be your wife, it may be your brother or sister. Sometimes people may become toxic, and they may be the people who we love most. So if a person is toxic and that person lives out of our private life, it is very easy to deal with them. Either we can be away from them, we can reduce the contact with them, and we can find some positive ways to respond to them. But when it comes to the people who are living with you, the people who are in your family, it is very difficult to face such toxic people. So how to deal with such toxic people? Well, before learning that, let me tell you a nice story. One day, a man came to Supreme Buddha and he started blaming to him. He blasted in front of Supreme Buddha. He threw the words of hatred and anger to our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. Do you know what Supreme Buddha did? He said nothing, and he kept on a perfect and very kind smile on his face throughout this argument. So, after some time, that person was done with his yelling. He stopped yelling at Supreme Buddha. Then, at that time, our great teacher Supreme Buddha asked a wonderful question. Supreme Buddha said, "Dear young man, I have a question for you. Do you get any visitors and friends when you are living at your home?" Then that man said, "Yes, I am getting many visitors. I am having many visitors when I am living in home." Then Supreme Buddha said, "Well, do you treat them with foods and drinks?" Then the angry man said, "Yes, I am treating them." Then Supreme Buddha said, "What if those friends and visitors did not accept your treat? What will you do for those foods?" Then that man laughed and said, "Those foods belongs to me. If they did not accept that, I am the owner of that food." Then Supreme Buddha said, "Young man, same goes with this argument. You treated me with the words of anger, hatred, and rude words. But I will never accept a single word that was given by you." Do you know what happened after that? The whole life of that man, the person who came to blame our Supreme Buddha, changed to a wonderful disciple. He came under the wing of our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. He became a monk. Finally, he was lucky to become an enlightened monk. So that is how our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, dealt with a toxic person. So we have to follow that way. And here are a few things that we can practice to deal with toxic people. The first thing is to do, when you are in an argument, as the first step, be silent. Never say anything, never do anything. Yes, people may yell at us, they may blame at us. All what you have to do is to stay silent and smile. Put a confident smile to your face and smile at them. Make them feel that you are not disturbed. Make them feel that they cannot distract your inner peace by their words. When you do that, they become confused. When you act like that, when you be like that, you are making them confused, and they may think twice before approaching you. So in an argument, dear devotees and my dear children, during an argument, we come across two choices. The first choice is to react to that argument. Or the second choice is to respond to that argument. So reaction and responding are two different things. So if you choose reaction, you will become angry as them, you will blame them, you will try to make them down, and you will try to convince them to your idea by hatred and anger, but you will never become successful. You will never win that argument. The best way to win an argument is to be silent first. What you have to do, you need to be silent. Now, when you're being silent, you will feel that you are defeated, but actually you are not. So when you are staying silent, when you are staying calm during an adversive time and in an argument, you are making your opponent confused, and they may no longer yell at you. Quickly, they will stop yelling at you. You are not fooling the argument. You don't put any fuel to this argument. So what will happen if we did not put any kind of fuel to a fire? That will gradually fade away. Same goes with the arguments. If you are not giving any arsenal, if you are not giving any weapon to your opponent to hurt you, they will never come to argue with you again. Those arguments, those problems will end quickly. So as the first step, be silent. Here's the second thing that you can do. After a heated argument, your opponent, the person who became angry with you, become tired. Their body become fatigued, and they may start to regret about the thing that they have done. And they may start to regret about the words that they have spoken to you. So what you have to do, approach them with kindness. Never blame them. Do not try to convince them at that time. You should approach to them from kindness and compassionate words. Ask them, what is the problem with you? Are you going through a tough time? Are you having any mental stress with you? Then they will feel comfortable and safe with you. Then they may regret about the things that they have done and about the words that they have spoken to you. If you approach them with your kindness, if you help them with your compassionate words, that heart will be healed. That heart will be cooled. That fire of anger will extinguish. So what you have to do, approach to them with kindness and compassion. Don't speak when you are angry. Don't act when you are angry. And don't speak when the other person is angry. And don't act when the other person is angry. Stay still and be kind to them. Smile to them. That is the second step that you can do. So here comes the third step. So, after the heated argument, if you approach to them with kindness and compassion, if you heal them with your compassionate words, they will ask for the forgiveness. They will ask the forgiveness from you. So what you have to do? Forgive them by saying that it is okay, no problem. I can be patient with you, but you have to control your anger. Because if you did not control your anger, your life will be ruined. Your spirituality will be ruined. So make them feel that they really, really need to control their anger and they should not yell at you. And you need to forgive them. Don't hold on to anger. Don't hold on to resentment. Instead, forgive them. By forgiving, we can free our mind. We can live freely and we can live happily. So these are the 3 steps that we can use to deal with toxic people. So as a summary, the first step is silence. You should be silent during an argument. Never feel the argument. Number 2, approach them with kindness and compassion, because those words, those actions may heal others' broken hearts. Number 3, forgive when the forgiveness is asked. If you forgive them, if you do these things, if you practice these qualities, you will be happy forever. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Thiruvon Saranai. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, today from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to discuss about a major defilement that we all have in our life. We are going to discuss that how to deal with this defilement, how we stop this defilement, how we remove this defilement from our life. This defilement is the jealousy. So jealousy is one of the major problems that we face in our life when we are dealing with people, when we see successful people in our life. So when we see people are living happy, when we see the successful people, sometimes we feel jealousy about them, right? So what is the major cause for this jealousy? So the major cause of jealousy is the selfishness. So what do you mean by selfishness? Selfishness means living our life only for ourselves, thinking only about ourselves. That is what you call selfishness. So in this society, we live in a society where most of the people live only for their lives. They always ask, what can others do for me? What can government do for me? We always try to ask, but we hardly give to others. So the more we practice selfishness, the more we think selfish thoughts, we become more and more selfish in this world. When we become more selfish, we feel jealousy about others. When we see people are living happy lives, when we see people are living successful life, we become jealousy. We hate them. We become angry about them. So this is a major problem that we all face in our lives. So how to deal with this? How to stop this? Well, our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us a wonderful way to stop and eliminate this jealousiness from our mind. And that special technique is known as mudita. What do you mean by mudita? Mudita means being happy by seeing others' success. That is called the appreciative joyfulness. If you can be happy by seeing others' success, if you can smile when others are living happy lives, by seeing their happy lives, then you are practicing this special quality of appreciative joyfulness. Remember, by being jealousy, by practicing the jealousy on someone, we cannot gain anything good for our life. There's nothing good, there's no good that we can gain to our life by merely being jealousy on someone. Right? Sometimes we may think that by being jealousy, we become successful. No. Day by day, we will deteriorate our special good qualities if we are practicing jealousiness. So what we have to do? We have to practice appreciative joyfulness. When you see successful people in this world, you have to be happy by seeing them. You can wish the good and well-being of them from your mind, from the deepest place from your heart. Right? You have to be honest to yourself, and you can wish others good and well-being. The more you practice this mudita, or the appreciative joyfulness, little by little, the jealousiness will fade away from your mind. And there will be a one day that when you see successful people, when the people are living happy lives, when you see them, you will feel happy about them. Though you are living a hard time, though you are going through a hard time in your life, you can be happy by seeing others' happy lives. Then you can generate the thoughts of mudita. Then you can live happily, and then you can live freely in this society. Because when we feel jealousy, we feel uncomfortable, right? We feel irritated and frustrated. So don't make yourself frustrated. So what you have to do, always practice this mudita. Start your day by practicing mudita. When you get up in the morning, you can wish for all the people that may all people be developed with happiness, comfortabilities, and joyfulness in their life. When you practice and when you generate these thoughts, your mind will be calm, your mind will be happy, and your mind will be free. So that is why our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us that we should practice mudita to eliminate the jealousiness from our mind. Mudita is the antidote for the jealousiness. So when you are living your life, practice the mudita, the appreciative joyfulness. If you practice this, you can live a happy and free life. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, when we come to this human world, we had no one to help for our lives except our parents. Parents are the people who greeted us to this world, and they nurtured us, they fed us, and they took care of us. And moreover, they sacrificed a part of their life on behalf of us. So parents are very special people that we find in our lives. But we live in a society where parents are neglected and they are not considered as special people. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us parents are special people to your life. You have to consider those two people your mother and your father as special people. Now let me introduce to the words of our great teacher Supreme Buddha about our parents. Supreme Buddha said, Brahmati Mata Pitaro. Our parents are like Brahmas. So who is a Brahma? Brahma consists of 4 divine qualities. What are those qualities? Number 1, Metta, the kindness. Karuna, compassion. Mudita, appreciative joyfulness. And Upekha, the equanimity. These 4 divine qualities are consist with the Brahman, as well as our parents too. Parents do have metta, the kindness towards their children. Karuna, mudita, and upekha. All these divine qualities are with our parents toward the children. So we need to give a special place in our life for our parents. Supreme Buddha taught, Brahmati Mata Pitaro. Parents are like Brahmas. Pubbacharya cha vuchare. They are the first teachers of our life. They taught us to walk, how to walk. They taught us how to live our life. And they were the first teachers that we met in our life. Now we learned how to talk by our parents, by listening to their words. So we learned how to talk. Now can you remember how your parents helped you in walking? They hold you from the hands and they taught you how to walk. So we learned to walk by our parents. So that is why our great teacher Supreme Buddha teaches us, parents are your first teachers. Pubbacharya cha uchare. Ahuneya cha puttana. Parents are worthy of gifts and offerings and venerations by their children. Even they come from the long, long distance far away to see their parents. So Ahuneya cha puttana, they are worthy of offerings. Pajaya anukampaka. Parents do have the compassion and they wish for the well-being of their children. So they are the ones who love you the most in your life, children. They are the ones who always think about your development, your benefits, your well-being of your life. So we have to respect those people. Until the end of their life, we have to respect them, we have to look after them, because we are in debt to our parents, because they gave our life and they took care of our life when we could not do anything. When we were little babies, we could not do anything in our life. So what we have to do, when they could not do anything in their life, when they become old, we have to take care of them. We have to give a respect to our parents. So when you are living with your parents, always respect them, look after them, take care of them, and make them happy and proud by doing so many good deeds and helping them. If you give a big concern to your parents, and if you help them, and if you make them happy, you can live a wonderful and happy life by helping your parents. So help your parents, take care of them, and live a happy life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, welcome to Inner Guide program. Today, from this episode, I'm going to share with you an important quality that we all should develop within ourselves to achieve the successfulness and to achieve the goals in our life. So that special quality is known as the consistency. What do you mean by consistency? Consistency means doing something, a special work, special actions, without stopping for a long period of time. So that is what you call consistency. To achieve big goals, to achieve your dreams in your life, you need to have this special quality of consistency. If you are a student, you need to study consistently. If you are an entrepreneur, you have to take decisions and you have to try hard to develop your business consistently. If you are a person who is practicing spirituality, you need to practice that consistently. So, consistent, doing something again and again without stopping, without giving up, will make our careers into perfection. Right? It doesn't matter how talented you are, it doesn't matter how bright you are, all you need to do is to practice this consistency. So I'm going to teach you today 2 tips that you can develop and you can practice to bring this consistency to your work. Because if we did not practice the continuity of our work, we may do our work for sometimes a short period of time, and we may give up. So, consistency is the key for success. Here are the 2 tips that we can practice to bring the consistency to our work. Number 1, you must have low expectations when you are doing your work. You have to expect very low progress in the beginning. Now, why do I say like that? Now, most of the time, when we take meditators, the people who are meditating, sometimes they sit for the meditation expecting that their mind to be tranquilized and calm and peaceful all at once. But that will not happen, although we liked for that, although we looked for that. So, if we make more and high expectations, the problem is that you are expecting the results. You are expecting instant results. Now, in the life's problems, in the life's goals, you cannot expect and you can gain the results instantly. All the achievements, all the successful and good achievements in this world and in this life are slow. It should be done step by step. It takes time. It's meandering. So it is very slow. So what do you have to do? You have to expect a little progress in one session of practice. Right? So now people may think that people may say to you that you need to have big expectations and you have to do a lot, right? But by doing a lot at one time makes you tired. Then that is why people are giving all at once. Right? In the first day of meditation, they meditate for about 3 hours and they get tired of that and they give up. So what you have to do is you have to expect very little progress. Slow progress is better than no progress. Right? So you have to keep your expectations low. If you make high expectations, you will suffer because you become obsessed with the results. Sometimes the results may not come to us as we want it to be. Right? So what we have to do, we have to keep our expectations low. We have to expect a very low progress from one practice. Right? If you are studying, if you studied for 1 hour, don't think that you have done it for the perfection. Now you are knowledgeable. No. It will make you a small progress, but it is very small. So you have to be happy with that small progress in your life. Right? So then, when you are not making high expectations, you will not become frustrated about your results because you are expecting a low result. Then, if you are doing this again and again consistently, that will increase your progress. Right? That will increase your results. So if you meditate for 20 minutes a day, right? If you keep on doing this daily as a daily practice, then one day you will have the ability to gain a peaceful and calm mind. But if you practice 3 hours all at once, and after that if you give up, you will make no progress in that meditation. So what you have to do, you have to practice this consistency. To practice this consistency, you have to expect little progress from one session and keep on doing it. Right? It's like this. Now, a tiny drop of water, when a tiny drop of water falls on a rock, it doesn't make any change on that rock. But what if those tiny drops of water falls again and again and again, continuously, consistently to that rock? What will happen? With the time, it will make a huge hole in that rock. So that tiny drop of water could not make any difference, any change on that rock in the beginning. But if it was keep falling onto that rock again and again and again, consistently, that will make the change. So in the beginning, right, when you are beginning your careers, right, when you are starting to meditate, when you are starting to study, in the first year, in the first month, or maybe in the first day, that will never make any change. But remember, you are on that path of progression. Right? You are doing it consistently, and I'm very sure one day you can achieve the goal that you always wanted to be. So what you have to do? You have to keep your expectations very low, right? But you have to keep doing it consistently. Then one day you will have the ability or the opportunity to gain the achievements and successful achievements in your life. That is the first tip. Here's the second tip that you need to have to practice the consistency. You have to be patient. That is one of the greatest qualities that we can have to our life, the patience. If you have the patience, you can wait until the problems are switched off in your life, right? You will not be backed down from the problems. You will not fall down from the problems. You can wait until they are fade away from your life. Right? There may be dark days. There may be days that you feel like you are giving up. Right? There may be days that you feel tired. But if you have the patience, you will never give up in your careers. So what you have to do? You have to have the patience. You have to wait. Right? So little by little, if you are going to that goal, if you are walking to that goal, then one day, right? It may be not today, it may be not tomorrow, maybe not in next month, but one day, make sure one day you are going to achieve all the goals that you have in your life. So if you need to practice consistency, you have to have these two qualities. Number one, it is to have the low expectations. Be not frustrated about the results that you are having currently. If you are keeping on doing this as a daily basis, that will make you success in the long run. So what you have to do? You have to make your expectations low and you have to be patient. If you practice these qualities, you can bring the consistency to your work. Then one day you will achieve all the goals that you dreamt about in your life, and you can be happy one day. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, today from this Q&A program, we are going to discuss about the mindfulness. Now normally, most of the people who practice the spirituality and meditations ask from us that, how can I be mindful? How can I practice mindfulness? And most of you ask that, how can I be in the present without going in the arena of past and the future? So today we are going to learn how to be in the present as well as how to be mindful. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha described us, there are 4 types of establishments of mindfulness. The first one is the mindfulness of the body. It is known as the Kaya Anupassana. Second one is the mindfulness on the feelings. It is called the Vedana Anupassana. Third one is the mindfulness of the mind, Chitta Anupassana. And finally, it is the mindfulness of the phenomena, Dhamma Anupassana. These 4 types of establishments are taught by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. So, in these 4 types of establishments of mindfulness, one of the major establishments of mindfulness is the mindfulness of the body. So, we can practice the mindfulness towards our body. So today we are going to learn a wonderful and important meditation that we can bring into our practical life. So normally, most of the people, they don't have the time to do meditations. They are busy, they are living a busy life. So this meditation will help you to bring a meditation to your busy life, and to practice it while you are doing your day-to-day works. So this meditation is known as Iriyapatha meditation. It means contemplation of our mind on our bodily postures. Supreme Buddha advised us that you should direct your mind to be contemplated, be concentrated, and be aware of your bodily postures. If you are being mindful on your bodily postures, it means you are living in the present. Supreme Buddha described it like this: Gacchanto va gacchamiti pajanati. If you are walking, when you are walking, you have to understand that you are walking. Titom va titom hiti pajanati. When you are sitting down, you have to understand that you are sitting down. When you are lying down, you have to understand that posture. When you are doing this, when you are being aware of your postures, bodily postures, your mind stays in the present, as well as you are mindful about your body, what you are doing. So this meditation can be practiced while you are doing your day-to-day activities. Whether you are sweeping, cleaning your house, you can be mindful on that action. While you are cooking, you can be mindful about your bodily postures. Here's one practical way to do that. Now, normally, our mind is not ready to be mindful always. If we command our mind to stay mindful, now you should stay mindful, mind is not ready for that. So we can trick our mind and we can make our mind to stay mindful and to stay present. So what we have to do is, we have to ask a simple question from our mind, from ourselves. That question is, what am I doing now? Now, if I ask from myself that what am I doing now, I can answer for that. If I ask from myself, I can answer it. I'm sitting on a chair, I'm talking, and I'm moving my hands. So when you ask that question, you become aware of what you are doing, your current posture of your body. So when you become aware of that, your mind quickly comes into the present and it comes into the mindfulness. So when you're doing certain things throughout the day, what you have to do, just ask from your mind that what you are doing. What am I doing? Then you will get answers. Then you will understand that you are doing something. Now normally, we do so many things at a time. Right? We try to do so many things at one time. So that should not be done, because when we do so many things at a time, at one time, our mind becomes busy. It will easily distracted and it loses its mindfulness. So it is much better to do one thing at a time. Now, how many of you watch the TV while eating? How many of you use the mobile phone while you are eating? Now, people who are using the smartphones, they know that when they eat, they take their mobile phone and they scroll through social media or whatever. They do so many things with their mobile phone. When you are doing that, remember, you are losing your mindfulness. And also, you are not completely using your mobile phone, or you are not completely watching the TV, as well as you are not completely enjoying your food. So that is why it is very essential to do one thing at a time. So when you are eating, what you have to do, just eat. While you are watching the TV, don't do anything, just watch it. Right? So normally when you are eating, You can feel that warmth and texture and taste of that food, right? If you are being aware of that perceptions, that feelings, then you can bring the mindfulness even while you are eating, right? So what you have to do, the first thing to do is do one thing at a time. Don't eat while you are watching the TV. Don't use your mobile phone while eating, right? It's just kind of slow down your process and progress and your activities, but it's very essential for the concentration of your mind, for the calmness of your mind, right? So if you're continuously observing what you are doing about your bodily postures, right, you're being aware of it. Now, why we should be aware of our body and our mind? Why should we be mindful? So these are the benefits of being mindful. Now, before doing something, if you are mindful, before doing something, you can detect and you can determine whether it is a good one, good action, or a bad thing. Whether should I do this thing now or should not. You can decide what to do and what not to before doing that. Now, normally we do so many evil things without any awareness, without much thinking. So if you are mindful, it is much easy and it will be a great help to protect the precepts, to refrain from evil things, evil deeds. So that helps for your virtues. That helps to your virtuous life. That is the first benefit. And by being mindful, by focusing on our body, by being mindful on our body, you can concentrate your mind. Your mind becomes calm and it is concentrated, because mind does not wander here and there when you are being mindful on your body. It kind of cool down and concentrated and tranquilize your mind. That is the second benefit. Third benefit, if you practice this deeply, this meditation, being mindful on your body, Supreme Buddha described us, that you can realize the true reality of this life, of this world, that leads to the wisdom. So this being mindful helps you for the virtues. This is called the sila. Second thing is the concentration of your mind. It is called the samadhi. And third, we can lead this mindfulness to the wisdom. That is called the prajna. So by being mindful, you can gain these benefits to your life. So as a summary, first of all, the main thing to do to be mindful is to do one thing at a time. Don't rush your mind. Okay? That is the first step. As the second step, always ask that simple question from your mind. What is it? What am I doing now? When you ask that simple question, you can be mindful about what you are doing. So when you practice this mindfulness, you can be happy. It tranquilizes your mind and you will attain a calm and quiet and peaceful mind throughout the day. So I wish you all, by practicing this mindfulness, may you attain a peaceful and wonderful mind to your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, throughout the day, we think thousands and millions of thoughts. So among these thoughts, most of them are negative, and only few among them are called positive. So that is the nature of our mind, that it is always tends to the negative side, to the dark side. So throughout the day, in most of the times, negative thoughts may pop up in our mind. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us that we should eliminate these negative thoughts. The thoughts that makes us distracted and the thoughts that disrupt our inner peace, these thoughts should be eliminated. So, today we are going to learn and talk about few steps that we can do or practice in our practical life to eliminate these negative thoughts. First of all, let's learn and know what are the negative thoughts. Supreme Buddha taught us the negative thoughts are, the evil thoughts are the thoughts of anger, hatred, resentment, delusion, lust, and desire. So these thoughts ruin our inner peace. These thoughts disrupt our inner peace. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us some ways to practice in our practical life to eliminate these negative thoughts. Supreme Buddha taught, as the first step, when a negative thought pop up in your mind. Now suppose the anger popped up in your mind. So what we can do, as the first step, Supreme Buddha taught, you should shift that negative thought to something positive. Now for an example, if you got angry with someone, what you can do is, you can shift that thought of anger to thought of loving kindness. So that is what we call the opposite thought of anger. So if your mind is in evil side, right, if you are angry, if you have the resentment in your mind, if you have the jealousy in your mind, you can do the opposite thing of that. To do that, you will have to have the consciousness and mindfulness in your mind, because we have to detect what the thought is. So Supreme Buddha taught, you can shift your mind from unwholesome thoughts to wholesome thoughts. When you are shifting those thoughts from evil side to the wholesome side, Supreme Buddha taught, those evil thoughts, distracting thoughts, and the thoughts of anger, resentment, and ill will may constantly, with the time, they may fade away. So as the first step, what you have to do, you can shift, you can give your attention from evil side to the wholesome side of your mind. Now you have to remember, in your mind, there will always prevail evil as well as the wholesome. The problem with us is, we are giving a big attention to this evil side. So as a practice, as a habit, make a practice of contemplating and giving attention to the wholesome things in your mind. Then, with the time, those evil thoughts may fade away. So that is the first step. As the second step, Supreme Buddha taught us, if these evil thoughts did not fade away by just shifting your attention from evil to the wholesome, so as the second step, Supreme Buddha taught us, always examine the danger of that thought. Now you have to know that evil thoughts are dangerous and they are harmful for our mind. Now, normally, when we are eating food, we have big concern to clean them up. Right? When you take vegetables, you wash them, and you cook them properly, and you eat. Because you know and you have a big concern in your mind that if I eat something bad, if I eat something corrupted, I will get a stomachache. I will get into a problem with health problem. So we have a big attention about what we eat, what we put from our mouth to our stomach. But we don't give a big attention to what we put into our mind through our eyes and ears and our sixth sense basis. So Supreme Buddha taught that you should give a big attention to what you are thinking, whether it is dangerous or whether it is beneficial for your life. So Supreme Buddha taught that you have to examine the dangerous side of these evil thoughts. When you're examining these things, then you get afraid of thinking these evil thoughts. Now suppose, whenever you get angry, if you can think, oh, this anger is not good for me. If I died when I'm in anger, I will never get a good rebirth. Supreme Buddha explained us, if you died in anger, you will never have a good rebirth. So Supreme Buddha taught that you should examine this danger. Always remember the evil thoughts of anger, resentment, jealous, lust, hatred, all these evil thoughts are harmful for our mind. Now, stomachache, when you eat something corrupted, when you eat something rotten, it can be cured by just taking medicines. But if you put something into your mind that is corrupted, that corrupted mind cannot be cured easily. So examine the dangerous side. That is the second step that we can do. As the third step, Supreme Buddha advised us, there are some powerful evil thoughts that may not fade away by just examining the dangerous side of these thoughts. So what you have to do, as the third step, Supreme Buddha taught, just ignore them. Do not give a big attention to those thoughts. If we let the thoughts to be thoughts, then by the time that evil thoughts may fade away. So what we have to do, when an evil thought comes into your mind, just ignore it. Don't let it control yourself. Now, the problem with us is, when an evil thought pops up in your mind, we act upon them, we speak upon them. So if you got angry with someone, if you got jealous on someone, never do anything and never say anything. Let your evil thought to be a thought, and it will fade away with the time. That is the third step that we can do. Just to ignore it. We should not give a big attention to that evil thought. Okay? Then, here comes the fourth step. Supreme Buddha taught, there are some powerful evil thoughts that may not fade away by even ignoring it. They may not fade away. Then Supreme Buddha advised us, if those evil thoughts are not fading away, just examine how that evil thought formed up in your mind. Right? So, if you got jealous in your mind, if the jealous pops up in your mind, so what you have to think? You have to think how these thoughts are forming in my mind. Then you will realize that I have seen someone's success, someone is living happily, and I got jealous on that person. then you know that how your thoughts are forming. When you're thinking about the formation of your thoughts, you are drifting your mind from evil thoughts to the wholesome side. You're shifting your mind. You're not giving a big attention to the evil side. So constantly you will forget those evil thoughts and they may fade away. That is the fourth step that we can do. Here comes the fifth step, and this is the final thing that we can do. Supreme Buddha advised, if these evil thoughts are not fading away by examining how these thoughts are formed up in your mind, Supreme Buddha said, take a big effort to your body, take a big effort to your mind, and threaten your mind that I am not going to act upon these thoughts. I'm not going to do these things. I'm not going to say these words from my mouth. Because if we did something when our mind is in evil side, if we did something from our body, all those physical actions are evil. If we say something from our mouth when our mind is in evil side, all those words are evil. So you can threaten your mind that I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to act upon my evil thoughts. You can crush your mind by your mind. You can crush those evil thoughts by your mind. So Supreme Buddha said, that is the final protocol that we can do. If you constantly practice these 5 steps, then you will have the opportunity to develop wholesome thoughts, develop wholesome qualities within your mind, because that will make a habit. Now, normally, we have made a habit of practicing and thinking evil thoughts. So if you are shifting your evil thoughts to the wholesome thoughts, then that will make a habit of wholesome thoughts. And finally, one day, you will feel that you are thinking only wholesome thoughts throughout the day. So I wish you all, by practicing these 5 advices that was given by our great teacher Supreme Buddha, may all of you have the opportunity to develop wholesome practices and wholesome qualities and generate wholesome thoughts throughout the day. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, when we come to this human world, we had to live with this human population, and also we have to deal with these humans. So when we are dealing and when we are living with these humans, we will see so many good qualities and as well as bad qualities of humans. So when we take the people around us, when we take the people around who are living with us, we can find so many good qualities and bad qualities. But the problem with us is we are programmed and we have practiced to see always the faults of people, the dark side of people, the evil qualities of people. The more we see the dark and the bad qualities of people, we will get angry. Sometimes we may hold on to resentment. Sometimes we may become jealous. So these evil thoughts may come into our mind when we deal with humans and when we see the dark and the evil qualities of humans. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us that you should always focus on the good of the people. You should train your mind to see the bright side of the people. So, our great teacher Supreme Buddha described there are 5 types of people in this world. The first type of people is the people who do good, but they speak evil words. Now, in the society, we may find such people. They do so many good things with their body. They may not kill animals, they may save the lives of animals. And they do so many things, so many good things with their body, but their words are bad. What they speak is very bad. So we may find such people. Supreme Buddha advised us that you should always focus on that good quality. You can focus on that good physical actions and you can control the anger upon them. That is the first type of people. Here comes the second type. Supreme Buddha said, there are people who do evil things, but they speak good words. They may kill animals, they may commit sexual misconduct, they may steal the people's possessions, but they speak good words. They may never tell a lie. They may never say any angry words from their mouth. So what you have to do is, you can focus on that good verbal action, good words, and you can control the anger. When you are contemplating on the bright side of people, you will always be kind to them and you will never be angry with them. So that is the second type. Here comes the third type of people. There are people who do evil things as well as who speak evil things. But eventually, by time to time, they may do some meritorious things. You can find such people. Sometimes, very rarely, they may go to temples and they observe precepts and they do some offerings and they do some good things. But it is very rare. Supreme Buddha advised that you should focus on that good quality. You can control your anger by contemplating on that person's good quality. What is that? Oh, they are doing some good deeds, meritorious things, eventually. Then you can control that anger. That is the third type of people. Here comes the fourth type of people. There are people who never do good things from their body as well as from their words, and they never do any good deed in their life. It is very hard to find a good quality of that person. Supreme Buddha advised us, if you meet such a person, what you have to do is, you have to focus your mind for the compassion. You can be compassionate to them and you can feel pity about them. You can think, oh, this poor person, poor thing, he is committing evil things. Eventually, he will get the result of this karma. He will find the consequences of these evil deeds. Then you can feel compassionate about them. But never, ever be angry with them. That is what our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised. It is the fourth type. And here comes the fifth type. Supreme Buddha said, you will find people who do good as well as they speak good and they are very meritorious. We will find people who are filled with good qualities. Then what you have to do? You have to focus on these good qualities which are abundant and clearly seen in them. When you see such people, when you deal with such people, it is very easy to contemplate on the good qualities of people. Dear devotees and my dear children, always remember, never find a fault of a person. Never judge a person, because we don't know what is the real story of their life. Sometimes they may act in anger, they may act in the way that we don't like, but sometimes they may have a bad day. Sometimes all of their days are bad. So what we have to do, we have to focus on a good quality of that person. When we focus on a good quality, we will never get angry. We will never get upset with the person. And it is very easy to deal with humans when we are contemplating on the bright side of people. So, when you are living in this society, don't judge people. Don't find the faults of people. Always focus on the bright side of the people. And when it takes to your personal life, you have to focus on your bright side. Sometimes we may have faults, we may have bad qualities. The problem with us is when we see such bad qualities within ourselves, we become sad. We become depressed. We become mentally down because we think, oh, I will never get rid of these bad qualities any day. No, you can't do that. You can escape from these bad qualities and you can develop good habits, good qualities. So what you have to do is, you have to think and you have to focus on your bright side. You may have good qualities. Now all of us have good qualities. So what you have to do, you have to focus on those good qualities. The more you focus on the bright side of your life as well as in the others, you will be happy. You can live freely, and also you will get the opportunity to develop wholesome qualities in your mind. So I wish you all, by contemplating on the bright side of the people and as well as you, may you have a happy and wonderful life in this world. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, have you ever been criticized by someone in your life? We all have been in that situation in all of our lives. No one can stop other people to criticize us. That is something that is out of our control. You have to keep it in your mind. Criticism, blames, scoldings, and other people's opinions in our life is something that we cannot control by ourselves. That is called, the things are out of our control. So, we cannot stop for other person to judge us. Now, normally the nature of people is always they are judging us. They keep on judging, they keep on criticizing, and we cannot stop them. Once our great teacher Supreme Buddha explained this to a Brahmin called Atula. Supreme Buddha said, Purana metang Atula, netang ajjatanamiva. Supreme Buddha explained, Atula, it came from the ancient time. Nindanti tunhi ma'asina. People will criticize us when we become silent. Nindanti bahubanina. People will criticize when a person who is talking too much. Mitabanim pinindanti. When we speak moderately, when we live our life moderately, people may criticize us. Natti loke anindito. There's no person, there's not a single person who has not been criticized by someone in this world. This verse shows us we all have been criticized in this life. We all have been in that situation in our life. So it is a common phenomena or common incident that we have to face in our life. So how to face these criticisms? Well, there are two types of criticisms in our life. One is the criticisms or the criticizers that which helps us to develop our good qualities. Now, the people who always wish the good of us, our parents, our teachers, our elders, may advise you. Like they may criticize our faults. When we face or when we are in such situations, always listen to those criticisms. Always listen to those advices. Do not consider it as a bad thing. Do not consider it as a negative criticism. It is a positive criticism. You can develop the good qualities and you can make your faults correct when you listen to those advices. So they are called positive criticism. And there's another criticism, and then that is the negative criticizing. People may criticize out of jealous. People may criticize us out of anger. They always keep on criticizing it. We cannot stop it. So when we face such situations, the nature of this mind is we become sad, we become depressed, the anxiety will start to develop inside our mind. And what we do is, when we face and when we hear those criticism to our life, we stop the good things, good practices that we are practicing in our life. You should not do that. You should not give up practicing the merits. You should not give up doing good deeds because of others' words. Dear meritorious children and my dear devotees, do not be backed down from criticizing. Face that. Listen to that. But never stop the good of your life. Never stop doing the good in your life. So we all have to face this common incident in our life. So the more we face the criticism in our life, the more we will have the opportunity to build up good qualities within ourselves. So don't think the criticism as a bad thing. They help you to develop good qualities in your life. When you face negative criticism, always be patient. Always be kind towards them. Because they have judged us, they have come to a conclusion about us which is wrong. So what we have to do, we should not argue with them. We should not try to talk back. We should not try to prove them that they are wrong. So what we have to do, just be silent. Just be patient. And always keep on practicing and never stop doing the good deeds and good practices in your life. If you keep on practicing the good things in your life will be successful. It is the nature that when we start doing something good, something wholesome, or when we start doing a service to this world, something good to this world, it is the nature we all face the criticism. All the people who had done a great service to this world, even our great teacher Supreme Buddha, faced criticism. So there's nothing to talk about us. So what we have to do, we have to face those criticism. The more we face the criticism in our life, the more our life will be beautiful. So don't just go through your life. Always grow through your life. When you face those hard times and difficulties in your life, you will always grow through your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai.